Hello, it's Traumadon Anthony Orion for the Joker 3121 channel on YouTube. Now, lots of development since the last time I spoke to you 6 months ago. I have witnessed a lot of crazy and amazing supernatural things from straight out from like fairies. I know, Peter Pan, you know, fairies. Woohoo! Not the Hillcrest fairies, not the gay. But also to possible police murdering people in cold blood on University Avenue 2 months ago at 1 o'clock in the morning. I was walking here from O-Town, San Diego, and I saw some people come out of a bar and they stumbled. And they were like, "Where are we?" And the guy with them was wearing a trench coat. And he's like, come along. We got some appointment to keep." And it looked like he was going to kill him. I'll be honest. So I said, nah. So I went home. I slept. I forgot about it. Woke up the next morning. It was terrorizing me. I was really upset. I go, did those people get killed? I mean, I could have stopped it. I mean, did I allow them to get hurt in any kind of way? I wasn't sure. So I went up the next day. Actually, the next night, I went out and I looked around, checked it out, and it appeared again that it was happening all over again. You had the city working on the street here. They had all their lights out. It was bright, and you had police officers parked on the side of the curb of the road, and on the corners you had what looked like to be gang members. I know it sounds crazy. Why would you use gang members? But that's what they look like. They look like cholos and Crips and Bloods, and it was like every 2-3 corners you would have like about a group of 4 to 6 or 8, and the police were parked in the dark along the curb all the way down University. The city workers were working in the middle of the street. They had everything lit up bright, right? This is 1 o'clock in the morning, mind you, 2 months ago. I walked all the way down here University, all the way down past over by the 805 freeway, and as I looked down the side streets while I'm walking along University, and I'm looking on the side streets, you know, it's all dark, but it looks like the shape of people. One was a woman. It looked like a guy was strangling her. She was sitting on the floor on the ground. He was standing up over her, like hovering over her, and it looked like he was choking her up against the wall. And then the other one looked like a stabbing, like some dude got stabbed, like they were actually stabbed him to death. And I'm not saying it happened. I'm just saying it appeared that way. So, and we know from that homeless guy during the storm of Katrina, they said, "Why don't you go inside and get a bed? They're giving people beds and meals." He said, "I went inside, but when they started closing the windows and killing everybody," he goes, "when they closed the windows and started killing everybody, I got out." And it was satellite TV, so they couldn't erase his testimony. They can't erase his testimony. So that told me, and this is about 4 or 5 years ago, that told me that they're murdering people in cold-blooded murder. Now me, I know for a fact because they tried sneaking in my back window on April 18, 2017 at 1 o'clock in the morning, and I'm 2 stories up. They tried sneaking in my back window to murder me and my brother in cold-blooded, can't speak. It's, you know, when you plan out a murder, okay, it's really motherfucking illegal. I'm sorry I'm getting upset, but it's just so creepy and disgusting. So they basically, after that, I mean, I had like the hospital trying to murder me. It was like over and over in a row, like so many different attempts. Like I was on the list to be snuffed out, but I survived it. I mean, I survived it in the beginning on my own, I believe, because I was persistent. I was fighting for the right to live. And then after that, God came in and basically, I mean, that's how I see it. I could be wrong. Maybe God protected me the whole time. It's possible. I could have sworn the first time or two I was on my own. But yeah, it's a long story short. I know God had my back. He was very, 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 very good to me. But what's going on is because America turned their back on God, it appears like the Illuminati, the devil worshippers, you know, the shadow government who runs our government, a group of non-elected government, non-elected by the people, that run our government, has had a plan to murder us for a long time. It's called population control. We all know about that, and you know, they want to reduce population and have it back to like the Egyptian days when they ruled over us a long time ago as gods and had people sacrificing their children to give them some demonic energy. So what I saw, it appeared to be over here in North Park. I mean, this is like 4 years ago, 5 years ago. Here we are 4 or 5 years later, this is at our back door. It's knocking on our own door, and here in my hometown, I'm watching what it looks like genocide. This one guy was walking down the street, and a really nice, cool Latino guy, and we talk, and I go, "What's going on here? What's going on?" He's like, "It's just straight genocide. It's straight genocide." And he was acting like he was freaked out. But we were talking about God and stuff, and he said he was a Christian. But when I said, "Well, you know, the devil can't win God. I mean, it's common sense. Hello, God's the creator of all things. He's a natural being. The devil was created." He kind of like, "I gotta go." He got like upset. And there you go. To me, that tells me a lot. It tells me that he was not only aware of the situation, but he was also possibly participating. If I ever see, in front of me, if I ever see anyone getting harmed or attacked, I'm hopping in, baby. And unless God himself tells me not to do it, if God's doing it, I'm stepping aside. I'm not going to interfere. Because God knows what he's doing. That's all there is to it. I'm sorry. I hate to say that, but I mean, it could be my own mother. It could be me. And I'm going to just go along with it because he's God. But if I see anything, I'm jumping in. And I'm going to what did Christ tell the disciples? He said, "Until I come back, you are to preserve, you are to I don't know the words. Basically, we are to hold down the fort. We are occupy. We are to occupy. That's what it is. We are representing the Word, and we are weak and small, but we represent God, the Word. And though we are not perfect, some rules will never be okay or cool or acceptable. And I'm not really down with thieves. I'm not down with murderers, child molesters, rapists, any of that junk. And there's just certain things that I do not put up with. People that create victims. I'm not down with that. So there you go. I have no victims in my life. I have no victims at all. I thought you were to go back 45, 50 years. You know, and I think there's a couple when I was a kid. But come on, we all make mistakes, and it was not even what it appeared to be. But the point I'm making, it's not about me. The point I'm making is not perfect, but this stuff is just so creepy. It's so vile. It's so disgustingly dirty. I mean, it makes you want to take a bath after you see it. It makes you cringe. You know, it's like I'm living in a maggot-infested. I feel like I'm living in a giant piece of crap. I mean, it's just the earth has turned into a wasteland. But maybe nothing was happening. Maybe it was a false flag. I mean, as I told you, I have a hacker in my computer. I really believe it's a team of them because he moves pretty fast for one person. They've been in my computer since, to my awareness, since 2006, 2007. That's the first time I started noticing it. Example, 2 years ago, my younger brother got a computer laptop from my aunt, and he was my roommate, and it would freeze up. And then we noticed, when I tried working on it, we noticed that somebody was actually remote controlling it. The mouse was moving on its own. We just sat back and go, wow, well, excuse us, as they opened up all these files, and we're just going through everything, and then downloading stuff into the computers, and uploading stuff and downloading stuff. And now that I did a prayer with the Holy Spirit, and I have the ability to remove the veil off the fallen angels, and I was able to record them. I'm not going to keep going into this too much. I really don't want, it's not really my cup of tea, and I hate doing this really, but I'm actually being forced. I'm being put on the spot. So that's all there is to it. I mean, I get quiet, but when they come bothering me, you involve me now. If I see people getting hurt, of course I'm going to jump in it, but if it's worldwide or whatever, I can't. I'm not God. I can't do anything about all that. If they only thought with their brains a little bit, it would have been easy to stop me. Just to say, just ignore them and just don't show them anything. That's all they had to do. I can't do anything. What can I do? I'm not God. Which way did it go, George? Door, of course. But they have to be so nosy. They gotta put their in your business like they own you. And I'm sorry, but homie, don't play that. I'm just not going along with that. You know, I was never raised in Egypt. I don't come from Egypt. I don't come from 20,000 BC. Egypt. back in the caveman days. I don't come from those days, okay? I come from the 80s. I'm from San Diego, baby, 1980. Okay, we come from a time when hey, they told us do what thou wilt, and they got us all this free thinking. And then, when you embrace the Bible and you're a free thinker, you really get liberated. So that part they had right, but no, don't do whatever you want because God comes first. Here's the thing. They involved me and they butted in and they pushed me and they gave me all the answers themselves. And I really, like I said. So basically, I'm just going to go create a Christian band and try and get people saved. Now, if that's a problem, then we can always, use the Holy Spirit to hurt them. And we can always just let everyone know there's a real God and they can pray these things out of here. But I don't know what's going to happen in the end because the tribulation, it turns out, has been a lot longer than we had ever anticipated. Christ said it would, be the end of days, but it's been going on for 2,000 years. As you know, from the Crusades and the persecution of the Christians back with the Muslims and the Catholic Church, millions and millions of Christians were captured and tortured